What happens when you pound nearly a gallon of milk in under half an hour? Adam Richman found out the hard way that the answer involves a bucket. Adam Richman had the belly-aching task of downing a towering 6-pound vanilla milkshake and a 1.5-pound corned beef and turkey sandwich in this challenge from Chick and Ruth's Deli. That's a whole lot of dairy mixed with a decent amount of meat. And if food challenges are already rough on your body, then this combination is grueling. This Colossal milkshake challenge seemed designed for challengers to spill their guts before taking home the prize. Despite this, Richman actually was able to conquer the 2 towers of tummy ache. He walked away with a free winner's t-shirt and his face on the Wall of Fame. His victory was likely due to the fact that Chick and Ruth's Deli allowed challengers an hour to down the heaping pile of meat and tall shake. Richman looked a little green in the face by the end of the challenge, and he took a full 10 minutes to take the last 2 bites. The Kitchen Sink Challenge from San Francisco Creamery was not only riveting but absolutely gorgeous. The name does the mammoth sundae justice because the 8 scoops of ice cream sit atop a real kitchen sink. The only way this challenge would be more impressive is if hot fudge came out of the attached faucet. After downing 2 gallons of ice cream with a whole lot of whipped cream, sprinkles, and fruit, Adam Richman was victorious. He finished the sundae seemingly milk-drunk within the hour he was given to defeat it. His secret? A side of fries, which offset the onslaught of ice cream and soaked up some of the liquid accruing in his belly. Richman earned free ice cream for a year with his success, which is a pretty awesome prize where food challenges are concerned. Maybe the most coveted of prizes, though, challenge winners also get their picture plastered on the Wall of Fame. Spoiler alert, this challenge ended with Adam Richman yakking in a can. Crown Candy Kitchen's 5 Malt or Milkshake Challenge is an oldie and a baddie. The challenge consists of 5 malt milkshakes at 24 ounces each, which is just shy of a gallon of milk and ice cream. Even drinking a gallon of water is a challenge for some people. Only 30 minutes is allotted for this challenge, which means it is quite literally designed for the puke bucket. With this a very likely outcome, the prize of a gallon of free milkshake and a t-shirt doesn't really seem worth it. However, some glory seekers are just in it for that spot on the Wall of Fame. With only 4 partially filled glasses of malt left, Richman's stomach just couldn't take any more. He upchucked and was promptly disqualified. New Orleans is like a cultural oasis within the United States, and the food there is both distinct and delightful. Casey Webb took on Creole Creamery's Tchoupitoulas Challenge, which is a monumental testament to New Orleans flavor. This 4-pound bowl of ice cream sets itself apart with its size, but also the unique Creole and New Orleans-inspired ice cream flavors like Creole cream cheese, nectar cream, and petit four. Webb ultimately knocked back the 8 scoops of ice cream and their 8 scoops of toppings like it was nothing. Another feather in the Tchoupitoulas Challenge's cap is that it actually looks appetizing from start to finish. It was a balanced sundae, whereas many other sundae challenges look like a mess of melting ice cream covered with random toppings. This Creole sundae was lovingly put together with a seemingly perfect ice cream to topping ratio that somehow didn't melt into a rainbow milk soup. That's a win. Adam Richman's last season of Man vs. Food saw him in the coach's chair as his pupils took on local challenges. Some were successful, but the Comfy Cows Ice Cream Challenge ended in utter heartbreak. Richman's champion eater Joseph Burrito Joe Nicolai finished the massive 7.5-pound sundae just to yak it up again. Of course, he was promptly disqualified as per the challenge's rulebook. We don't blame the guy for vomiting though, because 7.5 pounds of anything straight to the gut is devastating. And when it's made up of just ice cream and sweet toppings, it's enough to send a person into a complete sugar coma. 15 scoops of ice cream make up the base of the Comfy Cows Ice Cream Challenge. And that is topped with 6 different toppings, not including a bunch of cherries and a not-so-healthy helping of whipped cream. Other than being a heavy, dense sundae, there's really nothing special about this challenge. There are plenty of customization options available, but challengers are basically just eating a bunch of ice cream over the course of an hour. Ice cream which, by the end, is just a melted mess of sugar milk. This hot and cold challenge gets some major points for creativity, originality, and an overall heartwarming quality. A pound of spicy popcorn and a huge frozen hot chocolate are on the menu at Santa's Candy Castle in the aptly named Santa Claus, Indiana. The frozen hot chocolate and spicy-coated popcorn take us to Christmas morning in a strange alternate reality. The novelty of frozen cocoa and fireball popcorn is a refreshing break from overdone Sundae challenges and sickly sweet oversized desserts. Casey Webb had to eat an entire bowl of flamin' hot popcorn and a tall tower of frozen hot chocolate, topped with about 6 inches of whipped cream. Luckily, he had an hour to do so. Sporting a milk mustache and Cheeto fingers, he reigned victorious after 42 minutes of hot and cold whiplash. Once you add in the image of a very realistic Santa Claus watching over the event in the crowd, this challenge has the makings of a top-tier fever dream. When Webb did it back in 2017, he was one of only 5 people who had conquered the Fire and Ice Challenge. After his win, his photo went up on their Wall of Fame.
In an epic battle of man against food, man won! Woo!
Casey Webb tackled a massive chocolate cupcake topped with layers of whipped cream in the epic 6th season of Man vs. Food. While the cupcake was certainly huge, the originality of the challenge is up for debate. Fans in the episode's comment section on YouTube claim the cupcake is made possible by a popular novelty mold. This is a little disappointing compared to a lot of the creative and original food challenges on the show. Webb destroyed the massive chocolate cupcake, which was like eating 22 regular cupcakes, and was still able to stand up to gloat afterwards. Considering this, it's safe to say that this was one of the easiest Man vs. Food challenges to date. He received a t-shirt for his victory, and naturally a photo on Kirby's Wall of Fame. Sadly, challenger hopefuls will be disappointed to hear that Kirby's Cupcakes closed for good. As there are similar cupcake molds out there though, you could technically recreate the challenge at home. Just pop some cake mix into the massive mold and pipe a couple thick ropes of icing around the result, and you've got your own Goliath Cupcake Challenge. It's always refreshing when a food challenge is based on amazing, made fresh food. And Betty's Pies is known for its tasty homemade pies. Casey Webb headed to Duluth, Minnesota for a smorgasbord of pie in Betty's Pig Trough Challenge. 3 slices of pie, a banana, 4 scoops of vanilla ice cream, and a ton of toppings make up this calorie-rich challenge. Half a pie and what is essentially a large banana split actually doesn't sound like a lot for this big eater, considering some of the food we've seen the Man vs. Food host put away. But the real challenge here is in the time limit, as Webb only had 20 minutes to defeat the pig trough.
I suspect his stomach is going to start hurting right about now.
Still, he managed to do it in just under half of that, helped by the fact that the challenge allows for participants to choose their own pie flavors. Webb walked away with a t-shirt and a darn good dessert, featuring Betty's Bumbleberry, Key Lime, and Lemon Angel pies. A simple challenge that featured delicious, quality food with just enough hurdles to make it interesting? That's exactly the sort of thing that Man vs. Food fans want from their challenges. Yet another ice cream challenge had Casey Webb's brain freezing. Despite this, he did come up with a solid strategy to sink the Titanic, focusing on the cones while the hot fudge melted the ice cream below. He came out victorious, but perhaps questioning if the win was worth the ice cream soup he slurped to get there. Justine's Ice Cream Parlor's Titanic Sundae is located in Ocean City, Maryland, and consists of 8 large scoops of creamy ice cream. The sundae is topped with 4 cake cones, a whole bunch of whipped cream, and 6 toppings of the challenger's choice.
This thing is just as big as the real Titanic. It is ginormous. It looks like the Titanic is going to sink again.
The problem with this challenge isn't the sandcastle bucket that it comes piled into. Instead, it's the exorbitant amount of toppings the challenger needs to eliminate before getting to the ice cream. By the time one reaches the middle of the bucket, you're left with a melted mess. This is especially true if the competitor chose different ice cream flavors for all 8 of their scoops. Justine's offers over 20, and with all the toppings, that's just a lot of sugary flavors melding together. Casey Webb took his crew and Sweet Tooth to Soda Hot and Cold in Minnesota for an ice cream top stack of crepes. These 3 massive crepes act as a charcuterie board of desserts, with rolled ice cream, fresh fruit, whipped cream, and dessert biscuits strewn on top. Most diners would be full from just the fruit toppings, as there are about 3 cups of fruit, including mango, kiwi, and a mix of berries. Webb was unable to eat the dish in under the allotted 20 minutes, but 3 huge crepes plus 25 rolled ice creams is an enormous ask. Rolled ice cream is also more dense than regular ice cream, so there was more to this challenge than meets the eye, and ultimately more ice cream than many flashier Man vs. Food challenges boast. If you had your heart set on taking on this hot and cold challenge, you'll be sorely disappointed. Soda Hot and Cold is now permanently closed, so you'll have to scrape this challenge together at home if you want to try it. Casey Webb won this massive key lime pie challenge with 2 minutes left on the clock. But at what cost? A 3.5-pound key lime pie sounds like heaven in theory. However, this dense block of pie is actually the kind of challenge that would have key lime pie fanatics never wanting to touch another slice again. Season 8 took Webb to the fish house for this dense challenge, where the normal-sized pies actually look amazing. The meringue of the challenge version is made up of around a dozen egg whites and has to be completed in 30 minutes or less. Needless to say, this pie challenge is far from a piece of cake to complete. In fact, according to an employee at the fish house, Webb was the first and last person to take on this challenge. It was solely offered for Man vs. Food, but luckily the delicious homemade pies are still available at the restaurant in Key Largo, including slices of key lime. Another mark against this tart texture nightmare of a challenge, the reward was akin to a slap in the face, as Webb earned yet another slice of pie. Thankfully, he also got a t-shirt out of the endeavor.